And welcome to another episode of the Carrie Roldan Show, where we spend 30 minutes or so a week having conversations that matter to the entrepreneur's body, mind, and business. I'm your host, Carrie Roldan, and I'm a wife, a mother, a runner, a best-selling author, a personal growth junkie, and your body, mind, business mentor. And I'm super excited to be here with you guys today, and I'm super excited about the show. But before we get started on that, I gotta ask you guys a couple of questions. So first, did you know that balancing your hormones could actually help you lose weight and make more money? Did you know that your hormones are linked to your energy level and your productivity? And Kate's nodding, my guest is nodding her head already, and even your bank account. So if you've been feeling sluggish, fatigued, stuck in your body, in your business, feeling uninspired, then I can help. If you're an amazing woman, maybe over the age of 40, who knows that she was put on this earth to serve a purpose, but you feel weighed down by your physical body, then I urge you to take my hormone quiz today and see if that could be an issue for you. So to get to the hormone quiz, just go to carrieroldan.com/hormone quiz. Or if you're feeling like, I love this chick, I want to schedule a conversation with her right away, you can go to carrieroldan.com/apply to get yourself scheduled for a conversation. So as many of you know, you guys, I have created the Carrie Roldan Show because I have stumbled and continue to on my entrepreneurial journey, because the road to success thus far has been filled with potholes, detours, and dead ends, not to mention self-doubt, fear, worry, marital tension, debt, stress, and a slew of other maybe undesirables. But I wanted to share what I continue to learn on my journey in the hopes that it will help you guys too. Because online entrepreneurhood can be a lonely place, and I'm on a mission to help us connect to each other and to the resources we need to thrive in our businesses. Which is why I'm so excited about my topic and my guest for today, because she is a resource that we need to thrive in our businesses. So today's topic is why most entrepreneurs avoid sales conversations. And I'll be honest, I am one of those who avoids the sales conversation. So my guest today is Kate Beaters. I'm going to read your bio, Kate, but you've been sitting there for a while. Can you just say hello to everybody?
Hey, everybody. I'm really excited to be here. And what Carrie just said, I highly encourage you, before we jump into my stuff, is take her quiz. I've given up sugar. I've given up flour. Oh, and I also bought a Fitbit. And there's no way going through what I'm going through with my business that I am so happy to have done that, because my brain is clearer and my mind is stronger. So just sharing that. So.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Kate is a recent graduate of my Body Mind Business Reboot program and doing awesome. So yay. So I'm going to read Kate's bio so you know a little bit about her, but excuse my lack of eye contact while I look at my screen. So my guest today is Kate Beaters, and Kate is the founder of Brilliance Builders, where she teaches that attracting clients is easy when you let your true brilliance shine. So prior to coaching, Kate was a successful business development and marketing professional and started her career as a flight attendant, which is the ultimate education and customer experience. Over the last 6 years, Kate has helped literally thousands of people to go from stuck to successful with her money acceleration system. She's a sought after speaker. That's how I met her. Actually, she was speaking at an event that I was at events across North America. She's also the best-selling author of the book, The Winning Way. And she recently ran her first international business retreat, which was in Costa Rica. So welcome again, Kate. Hello.
Thank you. I know Costa Rica was amazing. I just have to share that probably the best part of it was Carrie being out on a walk and seeing these white-faced monkeys up in the trees playing, and it was just, Costa Rica was amazing. So I just have to throw that in. It has nothing to do with sales, except that when you do really well in your business, then you can go to places like Costa Rica. So.
Yeah, my brother actually just moved to Costa Rica, so it's on my list of places to visit. So, and it's been showing up. It's been showing up in my consciousness. Quite a few people in my sphere have visited there, and I'm super jealous. All right, so let's talk why most entrepreneurs avoid sales conversations. So for the people who are getting this, people who are watching on YouTube, this is maybe their first introduction to you, but the people who are getting this in their email from me, they got an email from me last week kind of saying, hey, I'm really tired of this whole, I'll tell you exactly what to say so people will be drooling and buy from you instantly realm. And yet I'm having Kate on because I know Kate and I know her heart, and I know she teaches people how to have authentic sales conversations. So maybe I've stepped over too soon, but what is the reason why most of us avoid that whole conversation and feel awkward in it?
So let's kind of back up a little bit too about this. And because you've mentioned a whole bunch of things, and these are such great questions, and I kind of want to clarify is that, you know, you think about it, I'm just going to speak from my personal experience, and Carrie, tell me if it resonates with you, is that most of us become entrepreneurs because we become really excited and passionate about something, right? And a lot of us have gotten certifications. I have a zillion high-level certifications in tapping, you know, emotional freedom technique. I spent tens of thousands of dollars on. I know other people listening probably have done maybe coach school, or they did this, or they did that, all sorts of things. And, you know, when you graduate, right, you kind of expect this whole line of clients like outside your door saying like, here's my credit card, I'm ready. And the truth is that really doesn't happen. Would you agree with that?
Oh my gosh, yes, that is, I promise you, of the people who are watching this, I would say it's 90% of us feel really maybe more, feel really frustrated that we're brilliant, but nobody knows.
And the thing is that brilliance, because, you know, I talk about everything I do is about brilliance, like the brilliance builders and all that, is that for me, brilliance has nothing to do with intelligence, except I do tend to attract really smart people. But brilliance to me is more like your inner light, this kind of thing that magnetizes you to somebody. And I've had people come to me, Carrie, it's been like their third go, like one woman, it was her third go around entrepreneurial business. She was a PhD, and she'd be in tears like, how come she couldn't make these things work? Because, and obviously PhD, I mean, you got to do your dissertation, and, you know, you have to be smart, right? I mean, there's no question, high IQ, and yet she couldn't make any money. So I want to just, first of all, I want to spell that it's got anything to do with how smart you are, although I'm sure you're all really, really smart, but that's not like that's not the thing that's going to make you good at sales. And I think, you know, from what I've observed, you have to understand, I'm an introvert, and I grew up very shy, and when we were about, when I was in like second grade, so I don't know what that is, like 6, 7 years old, my family moved to a new district in my town. And so I got sent to this new school, and, you know, when you're 6 years old, you know, you're making your way, and I figure I am kind of shy, and the teacher thought I was really quiet. So the teacher made me sit next to all the boys. Now the boys were really, really rowdy. Now, you know, you've got boys and girls, you know, and all that stuff, is that when you're 6 years old or 7 years old, you don't want to be hanging out with the boys in class. You know, maybe it's different now, but at that point, you know, when I was growing up, no, you want to be accepted by the girls, or I wanted to be. So here they made me sit next to the boys. They thought it'd make me talk more. They thought it'd make the boys behave. Well, it didn't work. It made me quieter, and the boys just kind of did their own thing. And so, you know, what I find is that most entrepreneurs are in some ways introverts. Not all of them, but a lot of them are. So it's almost like a couple of classifications. You got the people who, let's say, can sell snow to an Eskimo, right? And we know who, I'm not going to say any names, but we know who we're talking about. And it's like, walk across the fire for me and do this and do that. And I'm going to teach you exactly what I do, because they're very charismatic leaders that just follow and do this and do that. And that works for some people. And so if you have those exact same personality skills, then yes, you want to sell in that exact same style. But what I find is that most entrepreneurs are not. Most entrepreneurs are actually creatives. And typically what happens with creatives is we are typically shy and we're introverts. And so an introvert is not going to be, follow me, follow me, follow me, you know, let's walk across the cold together, let's climb the mountains together. And you know, we operate very, very differently. And the other thing too is that when you got your certifications or degrees or whatever courses you took, is that they never taught you sales. And so I think that entrepreneurs, one of the reasons that they quote hate this, because I've done surveys, Carrie, people literally say they hate it. I mean, hate is a strong emotion, but partly is I can't blame them, because they never were really trained. You know, my dad's a dentist. He's retired now. And when he got out of dental school, you know, first he went to work for another dentist for a few years. Then he opened up his own practice, and his practice grew. You know, and that's just kind of what he did. And I think he joined like I don't know, some group or something, and but that was it. Occasionally place an ad in the local paper, and that was what they did. And when I did business development, and a lot of my clients were law firms in Boston, because in Boston we've got a lot of law schools, Harvard and all that. And I remember hearing towards the tail end of me doing this that they were literally telling these guys and girls coming out of law school who they hired, they said, look, you've got to start bringing in clients. And it freaked them out, because the same thing here, whether they went to Harvard or Yale or Boston University or Stanford, wherever the heck they went, they're smart. They focused on learning torts. They focused on learning the laws. They focused on learning all these things. They did not ever learn how do you get clients. So here they get this job of their dreams with a big law firm. And it's like, I've got to find clients. Like, are you kidding me? Because that's not their thing. Their thing was give them a law. They can recite, Roe versus Wade, or they can recite this versus that. But gotta find clients. I don't know how to do it. That wasn't part of their social skills. So it really shifted around. And it's the same thing for an entrepreneur, because you look at someone like you, that you've got this amazing gift about helping people use their bodies and differently, and what they're eating and how it affects their emotions, and really getting that out to them. But yet nowhere in your studies was it like, okay, Carrie, and this is how you now start bringing in 5 clients a week. That's not part of the typical education. So it creates a lot of, when people then do try to sell, and especially if they buy these programs, like, I'm going to teach you exactly how to sell, and it's not their personality style, they go do it, and then they just like hit a wall. It doesn't work, because people get repelled. They say, no, thank you, or they don't want to work with them. And then they start beating themselves up, and then it's like, I hate sales. So is it making sense?
Oh my gosh, yes. So a couple of things. One, have you seen the movie The Interns? It's with the guys from the Wedding Crashers. Anyways, it's about these 2 guys that do an internship.
Yes. It's a few years old, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
but the very last task, like, in order for them to win this whole thing, and they were surrounded by the biggest nerds and the most academic people in the world, but ultimately it came down to sales, right? Being able to make that heart-to-heart connection. And I think where so many of us struggle with sales is that association, especially my audience. Like, we are generally heart-centered women entrepreneurs. There's a few men in my audience, but we but we tend to associate sales with manipulating people and separating people from their money, and manipulating, and like a raw deal, right? The used car salesman or the snake oil salesman, like, we tend to think, I don't want to be that. Like, I'm not going to manipulate people into buying from me. And what happens a lot in our industry is we're taught how to attract your ideal clients, how to get them begging to work with you, right? But I see you shaking your head. But the problem is, right, if you just sit there,
because I take those courses too. So yeah.
I actually don't think there's anything wrong. I think we do need to be in the right energetic space and all of that. But if we don't actually have the conversations, it's really hard for people to I guess I'll let you answer that. But my experience is I bring them into my sphere, and then I'm not asking them to buy from me, or I'm not, like, there's a big disconnect between me and them. They probably want to buy from me, and I'm I'm afraid to ask, or I don't know how to make that work. So help us, Kate.
So I want to also add too, is that a lot of people also, besides saying that they hate sales or they don't like it, is a lot of people say they don't need to have sales. And I want to just address them, because I'll bet you've got some people listening. And the type of people I'm talking about, people who, let's say, have flat rates, or they're hourly, because they figure, I don't need to sell because my rates are $50, $75, whatever it is an hour, or it's either package A, B, or C. And it's like, wrong. You need to sell just as much, because you still have to get the person on board to work with you. Otherwise you become a commodity, right? And the thing I always teach when I do my live events, I always say, like, it's like this water, with Dasani or Poland Springs or whatever, right? That when you just become a commodity, then people shop. And so you could say, okay, I could get this water. I can get it at the local CVS. I could go to Staples and get it. I could go order it online from Amazon. I could probably get it in a gas station. I could get it wherever. Where is it the cheapest, right? And there's no value to you. And that's something, because the work I do, as I deal with mindset and all that, is that if you don't hold value to yourself, and you're kind of cheapening out or chickening out, however you want to phrase it, by just saying and kind of saying, well, I just sell hourly or whatever, you're not doing yourself a disservice, because it doesn't matter how much you charge. If you're not able to own your value, that you need to do sales just as much as anyone else. And also too, whether you're, I don't care if you have any like realtors or financial people who are, they earn their own income but are part of a bigger umbrella, they still have to do it as well. Even MLM people. I mean, everybody has to learn how to do it, because ultimately, they're still checking out 5 different realtors, or they're still checking out 5 different financial planners. Why you? Sure, it's your company services. You don't set the pricing, but why you? So anybody who's really saying, why should someone work with me? If you're a Mary Kay salesperson, why should they buy Mary Kay from you and not somebody else? Why should they go to this weight loss coach versus another one? Why should they business coach with me and not somebody else? Money is the least important thing. It's really your connection with them, and do they believe you can get them the results? So if you don't know how to have that conversation, you're screwed. And ultimately, what I see a lot of people do, and I have to share this, Carrie, is that I've seen a lot of people say, I'm not going to do it. And it's a very subconscious level. So it's not like they're always deliberately saying it, but they play the avoidance game. So what they do is they get really good and they start writing books, right? Maybe they write books, maybe they do these online courses, maybe they do whatever. Now they're going to take this certification. Now they're going to learn Reiki. Now they're going to learn NLP. Now they're going to learn whatever. And they just keep thinking that's going to be the magic bullet that's going to help them have those clients lined up. And it's like, stop. I was told, stop, because that's not it. It's you. And until you actually shift who you are and your inner beliefs about yourself, about sales, about what you're offering, and how you're showing up in the world, nothing is going to change. And that's what I'm teaching people.
So you just got me to lean in.
Yes.
That was, I
watched you. Like, come on here, come to Boston, Carrie.
Yeah, no, I watched myself, because the way that my camera's set up, right, I can see myself on your screen, and I watched myself literally do that, like do the lean in as you were speaking. And what got me was when, 2 things is, one, I think that what you're talking about is so prevalent in our industry about, everybody's selling the secret ingredient to your success. And the truth is, there are, I guess what I want to say about all of that, because I've been really critical of it in the past. I've been critical of our industry. I've been critical of the traditional marketing. But really, right, their job is just to convince you, and it's everyone's job in sales, but it's to convince you that you need what they have at this moment in time. Mm-hmm. And my frustration with it is that oftentimes we are purchasing things that we will eventually need, but we don't need at this moment in time. And so for me, one of the big mistakes that I made, that wasn't a mistake, but I promise I'm getting to a point. It wasn't a mistake overall, but it was sort of falling for that marketing over and over again, where people would say, this is the thing that you need. Oh, you just need this one more thing. And a big one while you were talking that got me was realizing I didn't want to sell myself, honestly, because I didn't really know. I knew I was awesome. I knew I could help people, but I didn't really know exactly what I did or how I did it. I just wanted people to meet me, fall in love with me, and say, can I give you a bunch of money to hang out with me? And I would still love that, actually. But me too. Yeah. And so one of the things I did, and this is like a light bulb was going off when you were talking, is I joined a joint venture community, because the promise was other people will promote you, get other people to promote you. And it was so enticing, because it took the idea that I had to promote myself, or that I had to learn this stuff. But ultimately, it has all come back to this, Kate. Like, it's all come back to what you're saying, is me being in a place where I know I'm of value. And when you were talking, I thought it was important that we should discuss, okay, so why is someone going to buy from me when they could buy from Tony Robbins? So I don't know if you can address that in the time we have together. And then the other thing I for sure want to get to is, of course, your effortless enrollment secrets, because I know that was going to take people further than this conversation. So yeah. So start wherever you want with what I just spewed at you.
Just so everyone knows, we'll talk more about it, but I am doing a webinar where I'm diving in really, really deep into this topic, and I want to share it with Carrie and her community, because it's going to rock. And I'm giving away stuff that I spent forever learning, because I'm the same with you, Carrie. I mean, I just think the industry needs to be shifted upside down. That's kind of my thought. And I think it's time, and I think there's too many gifted people hiding, and I want to show them, I want to open up the door of possibility, and they step in or don't. So it's effortlessenrollmentsecrets.com/Carrie. And we'll tell you more about that later, but just write that down, effortlessenrollmentsecrets.com/Carrie. So back to why you versus Tony Robbins. First of all, you're something very different than Tony Robbins, right?
Oh, I know. I mean, just in general, right? Why me and not somebody else who's doing something similar, right?
Okay, gotcha. Okay, yeah, and so it's the same thing. That's why it comes back to my argument about like the Poland Springs water, Dasani. I've got Dasani water here, and why, like, so why Poland Springs versus Dasani? Honestly, couldn't tell you. That for me, that'd be whatever price is cheaper, right? So it really is having somebody understand. Well, first of all, you understanding what is their value, what is it that they want, because sometimes the other person is better, right, for that person. And the only reason I'm saying it is, like, if someone came to me, I do business coaching, and very layman terms, business coaching and the mindset work. If someone came to me and they said, I said what their dreams were, and they said, I just want to have a list build of, get 100,000 people on my list in the next 60 days, and I want to have my Facebook ads get, 30% per click. I'd be like, that's awesome, rock on. I'm not your person, right?
Right.
So it is important to understand what the person wants. And even within, because that's technically is still, quote, business coaching. So it's important to understand what it is, because does it resonate with you? So why you versus somebody else is because you guys click in your personality, you click in how it's being done, they click in your style. So thinking about, I'm going to pick on your course. How you did your course. So if someone likes that style, that it was a fairly intimate style, but yet, not just feeling like it was just picked on me, that it was a nice group of people. So there was connections amongst the group that you daily reinforced and daily taught. So for people who like that style, they're going to resonate and they're going to grab it. And people who like you, that they've talked to you, they've seen you, and they like your style, that's going to mean that, versus Susie Smith, who's also, let's say, selling some kind of weight loss thing or fitness thing or whatever. It's liking people's style. People come to me, I do both the right and left brain, and I'm not so woo. I'm not sitting here with purple hair and tattoos and all that kind of stuff, So when people come to me, I do, tapping, emotional freedom techniques. Most people who come to me, it's not because, oh my God, Kate taps, but the fact that I get results. So it's really that's when the connection works, is how do you help people? Because there's a zillion ways to help people lose weight, a zillion ways to help people grow their business. And what is the connection? And do they like your style? Do they like the delivery of it?
So I'm sure that you're, so maybe actually before I ask, talking about what you're going to talk about in Effortless Enrollment Secret webinar may actually help us take the next step. So, and I know you showed me your cool little laminated thing. So
can I show that again?
Well, yeah, you didn't show them. So show everybody that.
So when you register, because I'm from Boston. We're very, very focused. We're very results oriented. I know Carrie's out on the West Coast, and you guys are a little more casual and all that. But we're very, we want to help people get results. That's kind of who I am. And so I've spent, when I came out of corporate, well, for about 18 years, I did business development. And that meant basically finding clients out of nowhere and turning them into multi-million-dollar deals. I found as an entrepreneur, doing sales is very, very different. It's like opposite, And so this is a compilation of my my over 6 years of things that worked really, really well, and things that I did that's like, oh my God, that was like so stupid. Plus stupid things I've seen my clients or others do. Maybe I've observed from my end as the person on the other end of the phone. So I put together 25 do's and don'ts, and we created this really cool infographic. In fact, I thought it was so awesome that I actually got it laminated, because I was like, I want this. I make calls all the time. I want this in front of me too. So when you register for Effortless Enrollment Secrets, you will get your very own copy, and I recommend laminate. It's really awesome. It's got stuff that some you're going to be like, yep, this is great reinforcement, and others going to be like, wow, I wish I had thought about this before. And that's what I want. I want to, some things are bigger things that you have to shift, and most of these are more like tweaks. That not that you have to totally reinvent who you are, but maybe it's just doing B and before A or something like that for you. You'll see the results differ, because I'm not looking to remake people. I'm just looking to bring people's brilliance out.
Oh, I love that. I love it. Oh my gosh, I just wanted to revel in that for a minute, because one of my frustrations in going through this entrepreneurial journey is I have felt like I'm just now, 6 years later, getting back to me, right? Like I'm finally just now being like, oh, I started out on this path with like myself and a dream, right? Imagine a little hitchhiker with a stick and a,
Yeah.
a bandana full of stuff. And was like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make an impact on the world. I'm going to help people. And then I thought, I better learn. And it was in the learning that then I got squeezed and manipulated and twisted and turned, and my brilliance sucked out of me and became this like something else, you know? And it's just now all, and tried so hard at that, only to like barely, you know, feel like I'd get a level of success and then fall off a cliff. And like, I mean, it's been a rocky road. And just now, like in the past 6 months to a year, have I felt like, hey, you know what? I'm ditching all of that. I got my little stick and my bandana full of supplies, and getting back to what I would say my brilliance, right? Getting back to myself. Just now are things like starting to click. And anyways, I just wanted to address that because that's like a big aha. And I believe that's what you're going to help people with in Effortless Enrollment Secrets. So
yeah, there's a lot of good stuff I'm really sharing. I'm talking somewhat about the conversation you and I just had, because I think that's really, really important. People need to understand it, because otherwise they're keeping themselves small. And when I talk about playing a bigger game, it isn't like, oh, so now you can make $10 million, but it's really, I look at it that you became, I don't know about you, but everyone I seem to track became an entrepreneur because they're trying to build a life and a business in life that they love, and a profitable business too. And if it was just about money, they could go get a job. And so it's really doing this in a way that feels really good. And so I look at it when people are shutting themselves off and not doing conversations regarding sales, that they're also closing themselves off in other ways that may not be as a parent, but they're closing themselves off. It could be to opportunities, it could be to JV partners, it could be to speaking engagements, it could be to writing, it could be to connections in their community, whatever. But because the way we do anything in our life is the way we do everything. So it isn't just so for you guys out there listening and thinking, oh, it's okay, I don't need to do sales, I can do everything else. It's like, wrong. You're so wrong, because it's affecting every area. You're closing yourself off in every area. It's just that sales is the area you're noticing it. And so when people shift out of it, they change. So back to your question, we're talking a lot about this concept because it's really important for people to understand. I'm also sharing 3 of the biggest mistakes people make in conversations. And I am going to be teaching people what I say on a sales conversation. Again, the idea is not so somebody, and if somebody wants to do it how I'm doing it, awesome, rock on. But the idea is for people to start having a foundation and then work off of that, because that's what I want to do, to elevate you from where you are and then take you to the next place. And doing it so it feels really comfortable, but not like, and now you say this word and then they say this and then I say this and you say that. It's like, no. It should really be a flow of a conversation. And I look at it quite honestly, Carrie, that I get giddy teaching sales conversations. I actually do this. I have a private coaching group, and once or twice a year we'll focus in on sales conversations, and we do exercises. I am like giddy. I'm doing my little dance because I see people who hated doing this, who literally like same thing, hated it, and now telling me, Kate, I know it's only January, but I've got, I already have my income coming in. I'm on goal like for the whole year already. I mean, and there's people who hated sales. That's why I love what I'm doing, Carrie.
Oh,
so thank you for letting me hear that.
No, I love that, because that's what we want to learn from. We don't want to learn from someone who, we're part of at least me as a heart-centered person,
Yeah.
right? Someone whose business is about building a life, but it's also about living into the gifts that I was given, right? It's like sharing my brilliance, right?
Yeah.
I want to work with someone who's living into the gifts that they're given, and not just, I don't know, like, I don't want to be just part of their money-making machine, if that makes sense. So you said something that I found really important. So you said you're going to cover the 3 biggest mistakes that people make, and you're going to cover what you say in your sales conversation.
And I wanted to share too that what I'm teaching people say, just so they understand that I literally paid thousands and thousands of dollars for this stuff. So I think this is really going to upset some people, that I'm actually kind of giving this stuff when I should be like selling this for like $1,000. So I just want people to understand that there's huge value to this.
Well, I'm really grateful that you're giving it, honestly. And I am, I talk to a lot of people who do sales and who teach sales, and I'm much more inclined to interview someone who does attraction instead of sales, because I am been kind of sick with with what's been going on. And so that's why I'm so grateful to interview you, and to attend your webinar. I'm really actually excited about it. But which, by the way, effortlessenrollmentsecrets.com/Carrie, Carrie, to register for that. But what I wanted to, and Kate, I want to give you the date in a minute, but I want to tell you that when you were talking, this like came to me loud and clear. And I think it's important in that there are some people who are watching who are avoiding the sales conversation, which is what we started with, right? We said, why people avoid sales conversation? And they're doing exactly what I did. So that's what I want to say. They're like, I don't want to have one-on-one clients. I'll just build a product, or I'll just start it. Like, I'll just put a Facebook ad up. I'll just I was avoiding conversations for years. I was trying to find a way around that, a way to still get people. I love talking to people. I just didn't want to have to sell them. And so I was trying to automate it or like just meander through it. And Ashley Ryan, I heard this from Ashley Ryan. I think she heard it from somebody else, but it doesn't matter. Recently, she said this to me, and it was like a light bulb moment. She said, you can't make sales in your sleep until you know how to make them when you're awake. And I was like,
that's good.
You're right. I've been buying all these programs that are like, make money while you sleep and put it on autopilot. But you can't put anything on autopilot until you know how to do it yourself first. And so that's why I think this is so important for the people who are watching. It's equally important for me to attend your training. But tell us when it is and what we need to do to prepare.
Sure. So what you want to do is go register. So that's effortlessenrollmentsecrets.com/Carrie. When you register, after you register, make sure you also download your infographic. And the webinar is going to be on the 16th, which is Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, so 12 p.m. Pacific. It's going to be about 90 minutes. So what I really suggest is bring a paper and pen, because you will take some notes. It's not going to be one of these things where you're going to take a zillion notes, because I do want to have you present, but there are going to be things you want to write down. I'm teaching all brand new content. I also recommend too that if for some reason you're not sure if you can make it, still I recommend sign up, because I am limiting the size of this audience, because I like to work, I prefer more of an intimate setting. And so if I find we don't have enough, if there's too many people, I may end up doing an encore live call. It will be live. I'm not sending out any replay. So if I do it again, it's live, and it'll be brand new again too. So sign up if it's something you're interested in, because even if you can't make this one, if I decide to do it again, a week later or 2 weeks later or whatever, or 6 months later, whomever, you'll be able to be part of it.
So that's awesome. And I like that. So we sign up, and we need to clear time on our calendar, 90 minutes on our calendar on March 15th at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern. And it's going to be an intimate training. We'll take notes. I'm assuming it's webinar format. Will we be able to type in questions?
I'm not sure yet. I haven't decided. Actually, I should answer. I'm going to take questions at the end. So I don't know if I'm going to want questions, because I find too that if I do them while it's actually going on, it could totally digress.
That happens to me too.
Yeah. So I think what I'm going to do, Carrie, is I'm going to plan on just doing it at the end, because that way at least I can stay in focus. So for everybody who wants the actual content, and the people who have the questions after, then I can do it and they can stay after, and I'm happy to answer any questions for everybody. But I will share this with you. Somebody already told me that they're actually having a get-together. They're inviting their friends over. They're going to have about 24 people, and they're all going to watch the webinar together. I was like, how cool is that?
Well, and way to keep ourselves accountable, right? Because we know we need this. And that's what I wanted to say is actually, we know we need this. And so many of us sign up for webinars and then go, oh, I'll get to it later, or I'll watch the replay. And I love that you said, I'm not doing a replay, because it forces me to clear the time. Like it forces me, because otherwise I intend to watch the replay. I mean to, and it sits unopened in my email inbox for a couple of days until I'm like, oh, I can't even remember what that was anymore. And this is important. This is so important to anybody with a business, but you guys, you can tell I'm really passionate about it right now, because I struggled so long trying to do this online thing perfectly. And it's only now that I'm recognizing this is the missing piece. It's like the conversations, and people always say conversations that convert, and there's all these taglines for that, but it is heart-to-heart conversations that lead to an authentic, either someone asking, so what does it look like to work with you, or me asking them, all right, are you ready to work with me? And it's been a huge gap in my own personal business. So I'm thrilled to have you on here. I appreciate you so much, Kate.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, we're just about out of time. Is there anything, any closing words for everybody watching?
I just want to share is that I feel that if your audience is like you, which I'm assuming they are, because like attracts like, that you've already had a couple of ahas, right? And we've talked for how long? I mean, I don't have I can't see how long we've been on, but
yeah, something around 30 minutes.
So you figure if you've had this many, can you imagine, when we're actually like, at the webinar and I'm actually like teaching all this stuff? I mean, I've got really, really great stuff. I keep getting more excited. Oh, now I'm going to share this and share that. So I just really say, please join us. It's going to be awesome. And if Carrie's excitement is any indication, you definitely want to be there.
I love that you said that. I'm so enjoying watching you light up. Like I know my people love this stuff too, but it's so great watching, and I know this is going to be cliche because it's your thing, but it is so lovely watching somebody just light up in their own brilliance. And I watch you as you're thinking about what you're going to cover and what you're going to talk about. Like I can actually see the light rise up in you. And so that makes me want to go to your webinar even more. So already you are practicing what you preach. And so clearly we all need to go. That's what I'm saying, people. We need to go to Kate's webinar. So go to effortlessenrollmentsecrets.com/Carrie. That's my name, Carrie. And register right away. And even if you don't have the full 90 minutes on March 16th, or you're already booked for noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, make sure you register, because I have a sneaking suspicion, seeing the light come up in Kate, that there might be an encore in the future. And even if it's not for, this round, even if it's months down the road, you're still going to want to get on our list to learn from her. So Kate Beaters, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you. Big hugs.
Yeah, so that's actually how I close most of my shows. So everybody, if you're one of my people, if you haven't yet taken the hormone quiz, you want to go to carrieroldan.com/hormone quiz. If you are feeling fat, foggy, frustrated, if you're stuck in your life and your business, and because you've been watching me for a while, right, that we have these 4 energetic bodies: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And you've been paying a lot of attention to the mental, emotional, spiritual, and not so much to the physical. It's time. Take the hormone quiz, and we'll go from there. So carrieroldan.com/hormone quiz. And everybody who's been watching, who has fallen in love with Kate, or you just love me, let's have a great big virtual hug, everybody. So spread your arms nice and wide, wrap them around you, give yourself a hug. We all need more hugs in our day.
We do.
Yeah, so Kate Beaters, you are brilliant. Dear viewer, you are brilliant as well. I just love you all. Huge love from me, huge love from Kate, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Carrie Roldan Show.